Hello everyone and welcome back. We have a new 4.2 PTU patch that we got a little bit earlier today, and there are some things that we are going to go check out. So we have in the features and gameplay section, there was further Stormbreaker gameplay, LOD art, video, visual, and performance polish pass. A big thing they did in this build is they adjusted the server mesh configuration. I think it sounded like they had Pyro 1 and Pyro 4 on the same server, which with all those new locations probably is a big part of the reason why the servers were not performing well. So we're going to go see how well things are doing today, see if it's any better. We're going to check out around the locations, see what else we can figure out there. And then we're going to go look, there's some additions or changes to Wikelo, some other missions, and some other polishing things in that sense. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at all of that today. So if you want to see some of the latest changes from this PTU build, then sit back, relax, and let's get into it. And right before we get into it, I want to say again, I have not heard from my giveaway winner yet for the Grey Cat MTC. That winner is Psycho Dude, CYCO-DUDE. If you want to claim that prize, Psycho Dude, you need to message me on Discord. We can verify that you are who you say you are. If I don't hear from you in the next day or so, we are going to draw another winner for the giveaway. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get into it. First, we're going to get some gear. We have the big fat radiation suit. These things, they look so goofy. I'm almost certain they took a little bit of inspiration from Among Us for these sorts of things. So really, really funny looking. Let's go ahead and get our gear on. Now something odd is happening. So I have the Sterling Exploration Backpack on right now. For some reason, I'm not getting any prompts to equip weapons to this, like a primary weapon. And I was able to do that in the previous patches. Let me double check and make sure it's not like a general issue. Let's put on a regular backpack here. Let's see. Oh. Well, that's weird. So on a normal backpack, we're able to put on a primary weapon, but it seems with the radiation suit backpack, you cannot equip a primary weapon to it. So it seems like you're going to be limited if you want to have weapons when wearing this suit now. This seems to be a new change that I didn't see in the patch notes anywhere. It seems like you can only have a pistol, like a sidearm there. And even then, if you have that, then you're a little bit limited in that you can't have a med gun in the same slot. So you probably have to get like a medical attachment for a multi-tool. So that is definitely going to make it to have, you're going to have some trade-offs with wearing this suit. You get protected from the radiation, but you can't have a larger gun. So I guess we'll just go with a sidearm here. And we'll see how it goes. Alright, so first we're going to head down to a data center on Pyro 4 and see how things are going there, because again, there was pretty bad desync in the last patch. I'm already seeing server FPS is a lot better. Granted, there are only 26 people on the server at the moment, but yesterday we were looking at 2 to 3 server FPS, which is like awful. Right now it looks like we're around 14 or so, which is significantly better performing. So I would expect to be a lot less desync here. We got some new music as well, I'm just hearing. But a lot less desync, more AI improvements and all those sorts of things. So we're going to run around, see what we can find out, and just do a little exploring. Man, this new music with that sunset there, that sounds so cool. I wonder if this is music that's unique to these facilities. Oh, I'm getting hit by. This music is absolutely amazing. We're going to grab this lab coat, because we will need that to get into some of these areas. We're just going to grab that for now. Now we got some music with drums. Alright, so it looks like this scanner is working this time. I believe I need to be wearing the lab coat, I want to say. It doesn't specifically tell me. Let me just try with the radiation suit by chance. Yeah, so not good there. So we're going to drop our stuff. We'll open up our bag and put on the other stuff and then see if that lets us in. Looks like that worked. or it didn't. So this door seems a little bit borked. And it like opened, but there was another door like in it, and that one's not working for some reason. Let's try it again. Yeah, that one seems bugged. So I wonder if maybe it's not the case at some other locations. Perhaps we could try it somewhere else. But that one still seems a little bit bugged. So we'll go ahead and put our radiation suit back on, and then we're going to explore around some more in this data center and see what other things we can get our hands on. So after running around for a few minutes trying to get into some things, I'll say it feels a lot better, like miles better than it was just yesterday. The AI are definitely a lot more responsive, more accurate. There's a lot of them, and it's very, very difficult not being able to carry a primary weapon and not having a med gun at the moment. I only have my pistol and a couple of med pens, so that is, it's definitely a trade-off to have the radiation suit on over the other, just normal armor. I guess technically at this location you don't need the radiation suit, but where you would need it, specifically on Pyro 1, it's definitely going to cause some issues, I think. So definitely reasons to very much consider what you are bringing to the event. Alright, so now there is a executive lounge where you need the lab coat again. So let's go ahead, and the scanner is working, so let's see if we can get in here. I believe there is a key that we can get. We'll go ahead and go in. Cool, so this one is working. I'm going to bring my other gear in with me. Alright, so here is this executive lounge, and you have some loot boxes, and we have a safe, which does have the key in it. It has not been taken. Go ahead and grab that. But I will show you, in case you want to know how you get the key, the combination. What you'll need to do is you come over to this laptop, click touch to start. It's a little bit out of the way of the stupid suit. And then in one of these emails, typically near the bottom, there will be a code. Let's see. Unless they've changed it from when I tried this last. Yeah, there we go. So your requested code is 2267. So that would be what code you would use to open the safe. But again, it's already been opened. Did the key just respawn again? Unless it's bugged. Let's see, do we have it? Oh, we have two of them. So, oh, and it's coming back again. We're going to get another one. So that might be slightly bugged. But that is then where you'd get the data processing access. So I'll show you where that door is here. That is one of the keys that you need, but there is another key you need that's in another area of the data center, and we'll see if we can get that one as well. Real quick, I will show you. So one of the ways you can get to the door where you'd use that data processing key, you see this data processing sign, you're kind of over this main area here. We're just going to go through here, turn right, and we have our access where you need the key card here. You would insert it there. But we are not going to put that in right now because, again, we need a different key to get in there, or to get another item in there. Okay, we've got our lab equipment. We'll go ahead and scan into the door. Alright, so now we are in this room. So in here, there are some other scientists you can get if you need an additional lab coat. There is a little audio device right here you can play if you want. I won't play it here, but there's some nice little audio stuff for the story of this event. But what we are looking for is a combination for this safe, which will give us another key. So I believe for that we're going to go to this display here. And then there's a couple different emails here. We can see at the end we have today's code is 1999. So go ahead and come over here to the safe. We will put in 1999, and it's not working. Sick. Well, now I have no idea. I guess the code has changed. Let's try and check it again. Yeah, 1999 is all I'm seeing. Let's try it one more time. Or possibly what it is this little light is red. I don't remember if the other one on the other safe was red or not. Possibly during the cooldown period, this light may show as red, and you have to wait, you know, however long it is before another key will spawn in here, and this safe might be working properly. So, that may be something you have to consider, is these keys probably have cooldowns for getting them, so it could take quite a bit of time to get everything that you need. So in that case, we're probably going to have to do that in another video and try and get further along in there. So now, let's go ahead and let's go over to Pyro 1 and explore around there a little bit more, try out a couple of other things, see how the performance is there as well. Alright, now we're coming down into Pyro 1. We got some epic music playing again. I think this is the same music that was on Pyro 4. But maybe there's some more that we get once we get into the Lazarus complex. Maybe there's some more interesting stuff. Or maybe there's some more that we just haven't gotten quite yet. We do have... Again, we have a maintenance garage where you need a key card to get in. I don't know what's supposed to be in here. Now, there are some that you can find Atlas Icties in, but those are at the actual complex, so I don't really know what's supposed to be in there. So maybe that's something else that hasn't been added in quite yet. I'll just say I'm watching this player move around. Almost no desync from what I can see. Like yesterday, people were walking in place for like 20 seconds. They just teleport. This looks way nicer and way better, so... already whatever changes they made has significantly increased performance, so hopefully they can continue to make some good adjustments in that sense. Okay, we are on our shuttle, and we're going to head into the storm. Alright, here we are. Hopefully we don't get immediately killed. Ooh, if you hear that, you might be able to hear it. There's some little clickety-clackety sounds for like the radiation counter. It's a new, nice little sound effect. Go ahead and set our spawn here. Cool. So, if you didn't know, there is a office here that does have some stuff you can get. To get in there, you're going to need to take the two highlighted numbers here, 27, and I believe that is 96. And we put that in at the door right through here. So, 2196. Did that not work? Did I put in the wrong numbers? Let me double check. Oh, wait, 2796. I think I saw it wrong. 2796. There we go. That opens the office of this doctor. Then in here, you can find the Volt shotgun. I've only ever found this sort of purpley one of it in here. And I have to store it because I can't equip it to the backpack for some reason. But in here, there is some little loot things you can get. You can get that shotgun. On this mannequin, there can be a suit, the radiation suit that can spawn. I don't think there's one right now, of course. But that can spawn there. But besides that, there's a couple other little loot things you can get in this room. And then we'll go ahead and we'll look at a couple other things in this facility. So down these stairs, we have the specimen cache, which is where you can get the Valakar eggs. Now, to get in here, you need your Sterling suit. Go up to the scanner. It should scan us. We should be able to get in here because we have the proper stuff. It sounds like they also quieted down the rain, where they changed the effect a little bit, so it's pretty nice. It still is kind of raining indoors, which I don't think is intended. But it's not as loud, which is good, because it was pretty obnoxiously loud in some of the previous patches. So then in here, this is where the eggs should be accessible. I've only ever seen one in this case right here. There's not one right now. Possibly other ones could spawn here. There's definitely the things for them to spawn. There is a little key card that you're going to need to get them out, which you get at one of those other Pyro Force centers. Haven't been able to get a hold of one of those yet, but that's where you get it. And then we can also see right here on the pylon tower status, the calling tower is currently ready. So again, that location has not actually been added in yet, but this would give you an indication of if it's ready to be used. You can go to that tower. So we'll have to see, based off of some of the diagrams here. If we look over here, so it says step 1, you take the specimen, and then if we go to the next one, you go to the calling tower, and then we can assume, from what we've heard and data mines have been and hints and stuff, it seems like you basically murder the eggs there, and like the cries from them dying or whatever summons the apex. Basically, that's kind of what we understand it to be now. So, again, that part is not in quite yet, so we can't do it. But that is what I'm expecting it to be, and it's going to be absolutely epic to fight an irradiated Apex Valakar in a giant rain radioactive storm in the dark on Pyro 1. So I'm very, very excited for it. Now, down in this lower area, this is, I believe, the storage room. There is another room that we can get in here that we can get some loot. I don't remember if there's another key in here. But to get in here, what you need to do is go up to this computer. We're going to go in there, and then there's going to be some different emails, and at the bottom of one of them, there's going to be a code. So this is 8999, so then we are going to try that on this door right here. Looks like that worked. So then we can go in here. And there's some different weapons you can loot. So I've seen some Volt rifles and SMGs here. I haven't seen any of the shotguns in this weapon rack, but the SMG and the rifle can be there. And then there are just some rail guns and missile launchers that lay on the ground or on the shelf here that you can just loot there. So that's a good source to get those. And then there's other loot containers and some other generals, things like that in this room. Again, I don't think there's any specific keys, but just kind of, you know, an extra space you can get some extra goodies. Okay, so let's try again. So again, we have signage for calling tower, garage, maintenance chief, and then also aggressive copians. So it seems like out this way, this is where the calling tower will be. But again, I do not believe it's currently in. I haven't seen anything to indicate that. But we do have out here, there's a garage where there should be an Atlas ICT. You can see here, to the side, there's like a battery terminal, kind of like at the Hathor sites. There is a place to get a battery over in this location, but you need a key card to get in there. Pretty sure that key card comes from one of the Pyro 4 sites. But then you have an ICT you can use in fighting some of the creatures that you'll come up against here. Again, I think you can find some irradiated Copian around, and I think sometimes the adult Valakars have been spawning. I'm not entirely sure how that's happened yet, but very cool, very creepy, I guess you could say. They look insane. We can see the ICT there. Got some guns on it. Got that armor plating, and it does actually have what looks like glass over the front there, so you do have fairly good protection. So we'll have to see for sure how well it works. But it looks really, really nice, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. As I'm listening carefully, well, there's no music right now. I hear the little click-a-click of the radiation counter, but I'm also hearing some kind of electricity little noises, which I think could possibly be, if you look in the top left at my map, that's kind of glitching around and it's not working quite right. I think that if those effects could be for that. So there's just, you know, some little subtle new sound effects that they've added, which, again, every one of these little things just adds layer after layer of immersive effect for the event, which I am all for, and I cannot wait to continue to see what else we get. We should be getting, I would, from what they said, another part of the event, like a third part. I don't know if there's anything after that, which probably will include that calling tower, and then maybe we can spawn the Apex Valakar after that. We'll see. But we should probably be getting that within the next couple of PTU patches. So all I can say is, holy crap, does it run a lot better than it did the last couple of patches. This actually seems playable now. My FPS is decent, but mostly it's the server performance is just way, way better. So hopefully they continue to make improvements on that. But let's go ahead and let's check out some of the other stuff in today's patch notes. Now I came here to Wikelo's because I needed to do the intermission again, but I noticed that the Emporium is either bugged or it's not showing again. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not here because they're adding additional stuff to it to, you know, have on display for the new patch. So maybe some new armor, new guns, things like that we'll probably see in here at some point. But I'm going to go ahead and turn these items in, and then we're going to take a look at the Wikelo contracts, and we're going to see what has changed there. I will say first off, this new to system contract has changed again. You need one Smoltz bottle. There's a couple of different places you can get that. You have to go, I've looked around, and it says you can get it at like bars at different places, but you can't actually get the bottle of it there. So you'll have to look around and see what you can find. The place that I got it from specifically was at the Kelto store in New Babbage, and then you also need you still need those 3 tender copian horns, and then 1 fried sea nut with sauce. Those are only found in Pyro. A lot of the like shop terminals on planets have them, so those are some good places you can go to get those. All right, we got the contract complete now, so let's take a look at the different options. So first, let's see, we have the super useful ship parts. I don't think that has changed at all for those requirements. We still have our Zappy gun, more wood-like. That's for an SMG. Want big ship, but not too big. This has changed for a little bit for the requirements. You need 16 Wikelo favors and 15 Ace Interceptor helmets. I believe right now on live you need 30 favors and 50 Karadite for the requirements for this one. So that has changed some. I wouldn't expect these older ones to change much. This one does not have a name currently, but it looks like this is going to be a trade to get a Argo Atlas Icti with a jump jet like the Geo has. So you need an Argo Atlas Geo, a Argo Atlas Icti, and then you need 1 NN13 cannon and 10 Wikelo favors. Then you can send those down, and then that should give the Icti the jump jets. We have another unnamed one here. This is probably just to get the Icti itself. So first we have 1 Argo Atlas you need, 1 NN13 cannon, 10 irradiated Valakar pearls, and 5 irradiated Valakar fangs apex. So we have not seen those items yet because the apex is not in, but I haven't seen that anyone has found pearls on the juvenile or adult irradiated Valakar, so I would assume they are only on the apex. So you need 5 apex fangs and 10 pearls. So that's, I mean, we'll have to see how easy it is to get this thing going, how easy it is to kill it, we'll have to see what the difficulty is on all of that. But it could be quite challenging to be able to get the stuff you need to get this. And then plus on the NN13 cannon, I believe the only place to get that is in, I want to say, Obituary, I think it is. That's a contested zone. In the end of it, there's some ship weapon spawns, and it can be one of those things that'll spawn there. So yeah, there's definitely some big requirements to be able to get that from Wikelo. So we'll have to see if it's really worth it. I don't really know. So we'll have to see once we can get some testing done with that. Now let's take a look at the Polaris contract, because sometimes this has new things that get added. So 60 favors, all these seem the same. Janelites, Picoball, Polaris Bit, Karenite, Saldinium, Ace Interceptor helmets. Yeah, so that mission at least currently does not seem to have been changed at all. I would not be surprised if maybe some Valakar parts get added to that. We'll have to see. We do have one here that says Turn Atlas Suit Pretty. That is 3 Wikelo favors and 1 Argo Atlas Geo. So that is going to probably be, there's some paints you can get. So 3 favors for that, and you'll get, I think there's a couple different paints that can be put on there. So, you know, that's not a crazy difficult thing, but just a nice little thing to do if you want some different paints on your Atlas. And then we have Make Volt Shotgun Angrier. So this, you're going to need 5 irradiated Valakar fangs from an adult, 20 irradiated Valakar fangs from a juvenile, 10 irradiated Copian horns, and 1 prism laser shotgun. And that will make it very scary and angry. Again, it's probably just the skin for it. Wouldn't be surprised if it like makes it kind of glow like the irradiated animals do. So it should be pretty cool, but you do need a decent amount of stuff from those irradiated creatures. Let's look at the very, very nice ship for trade. These usually change. Let's see. This one, I think, is the same at the moment. We need 30 favors, 10 Karenite, 15 Jacqueline, 20 Saldinium, and 30 Ace Interceptor helmets. I don't think that has changed at all, as far as I can tell. Now this one, the just lower level have good ships for trade. This has changed. On live, I believe it is 20 favors for this, but it appears that it has now been brought down to 10. So again, I would not be surprised if the way we get favors changes again. Maybe we'll still have the way to get them with script, but I think there's some other potential options. Oh, well, speaking of that, right here we have trade worm parts for favors, which we have 15 irradiated Valakar pearls for one favor. And again, I'm pretty sure those are only able to be obtained from the Apex. So if that's the only way to get favors, that is going to probably make it even more difficult to get these things. So we'll have to see how common the pearls are on the Apex, how easy it is to get them from there, until I can, make a kind of real assessment on that. But at least immediately what I see is it's probably going to be quite difficult and challenging. So that makes a little bit of sense why they lowered some of the favor requirements for some of these ships and other things. And then any other little changes? We do have make glowy armor. That's another new armor trade. So for that, we're going to need, let's see, so the description is, Wikelo had sighting idea during brief work rest, was thinking about little glowworms in Pyro and saw armor get changed to look like. So you can make you glow too. So for this, you need 1 irradiated Valacar pearl, 3 irradiated Valacar fangs from the Apex, and then you need 1 Anna Armor Arms Endro, the legs, the core, and the helmet. Those are another one I think you can get from Wikelo. So this one looks like it would give you the full set of them as far as I can tell. So another cool armor set you can probably get. It might be like an Antium armor variant. We'll have to see. But that'll probably be a decent challenge to get yourself as well. But as far as I can see, that is all of the Wikelo changes so far in this patch. So then let's go ahead and let's take a look at a couple last things that are part of it. So next in the patch notes, we have that they reward, the reward balance for Rayari gathering missions was, changed a little bit. I have not really done many of those, so I'm not entirely sure what that's going to be. Let me know if you've done any of those, if you think the rewards are fair, or if they should be raised or lowered or something like that. I'd love to hear what you think about that. And then they also, apparently, they adjusted all radiation emitter sources to use a fall-off curve. So that might just be if you're in one of the radiation zones, radiation gets less and less as you go further away from that area, possibly. So, nothing too crazy there. It makes sense for it to be like that. And then we can also see for some further rain/storm audio polish with planetary surface material type inclusions. I have noticed that it has drastically improved the rain and how like the wetness of everything looks, like ships and the ground and your suits and armor and all those sorts of things. It looks really good. A lot better than it first did. So hoping they can, I think the biggest thing that I've noticed that still needs some tweaking is the sound and like what type of rain sound plays where. So hopefully they can continue to get that figured out before the patch goes live. But everything else I think has made really good progress pretty quickly. And then to finish off, under the ships and vehicles section, we have that they reduced the Anvil Asgard/Valkyrie cross-section emissions. I saw someone post a picture on that earlier, and it seemed like they had lowered it to about 30k cross-section. I think it had been at like 35 or 37. It was like really high. It's still way too high, I think. Like, I'm pretty sure it has a higher cross-section than like a C2. So it probably needs to be way lower still, but they are at least aware of it, so potentially we'll see some further adjustments to that, further adjustments to more ship stuff and all that. I'm sure we will continue to get as we get closer to this patch going live. But that's all the major things from these patch notes. If you have any comments on any of your experiences you've had in the PTU, feel free to let me know what you think about it so far. If you have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comments. And until next time, I will see you in the verse.